Hello Fix fans, now you would have seen in one of my previous videos that I got this Hammershot and this Sweet Revenge and replaced their weedy 5 dart cylinders with 8 dart cylinders. Here are the weedy 5 dart cylinders, and if you want to see how to take these out of the blasters and replace them with the 8-shot ones, that's a separate video, go and have a look at that. So I want to talk a little bit today about my HVZ loadout. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be running a Stampede, slightly modified, or a Artemis for my HVZ game coming up at Royal Holloway. It's an invitational. I think the Stampede's going to be quite heavy, bulky and irritating, to be honest, to run around with, but the Artemis is in pieces and needs the back of itself bolting on. I also need to buy some high impact rounds, so I'm probably going to end up running the Stampede. Doesn't really matter about those two, there'll be other videos on them. What I want to talk about right now is my secondary. Now these are pretty poor secondaries. I could really have a Strife or something semi-auto. That would do a much better job at slaying zombies. I've opted to go with these printed cylinders, which are 8 darts each, rather than any of the inline clips that take half darts. Reason number one, I haven't got that many half darts. We don't really have a proliferation of half darts in the UK. And this is going to be an HVZ game, so there's going to be plenty of full darts kicking around, although I've seen some of my fellow players with touchy mags and other things in their loadout videos. The other thing is I don't necessarily want to be dealing with printed half darts inline clips where you have to fire and then go down and fire again. I'm not a massive guy, I haven't got huge hands, I actually find these quite difficult to prime. I'm probably not going to dual wield them for that reason, which means I may well leave one of these at home. I've only got one drop leg holster anyway. I'll probably have it on the off side so that if my primary does something funny, I can pull this out. I've got 8 shots to deal with whatever I need to deal with. Probably just going to get tagged, to be honest. And then I can pop it back in the drop leg and carry on with on my merry way. So as secondaries then, these are probably quite good if you're dual wielding them. I can't quite get the grip on there. I think if I'm in a panic, I'm barely going to get my thumb up there to get those, and then, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch to get those hammers, and then there go the zombies. I think I'm probably just going to keep one as a secondary. I'm probably going to be slightly under-kitted for that reason, but I'll tell you why I've decided to do that. If I put the Hammershot down for a minute, the Sweet Revenge actually fits beautifully in my drop leg. Very sleek, very smooth on the side. It'll go in there very nicely. It's very easy to draw, very easy to holster. And if my Stampede or my Artemis do something funny, which I no doubt they will at the wrong moment, I can whip this out and see what I can play with. The reason I'm only going to use the one, except for the fact I can't really dual wield these because my thumbs aren't long enough, I'll only use the one because I'm trying to run light. Something like this, not a particularly big blaster. 8 shots is a reasonable capacity. I think that's okay as an emergency sort of secondary. If I'm going to run really light and ditch the primary, I may do that for one of the first couple of missions, or if I take on a scout role or something like that, I'll get both of them. I'll put one there, I'll put one there, and then I'll either dual wield or I'll use them in succession for 16 shots. And hopefully, because they're front loading, I can top them up as I go. I don't expect to be particularly heavily engaged if I'm a scout. I'm not taking on a skirmisher role where I need to just lay down loads of covering fire or be sort of a semi-heavy because I'm going straight on at the horde and I need to tag loads of people. If I am going to run just these two and ditch my primary, it will be as a scout or as some kind of recon. It may also be because I'm knackered or my primary is broken and I don't want to go back out on the field with too much gear on. So that's a bit of the ethos of the loadout. I am going to be wearing a battle belt. It's got several pouches on it. I'm going to be running a dump pouch, perhaps a holster for one of these. I've got some sort of cargo shorts which have built into them knee pads, and that's going to be really nice to run because it means I can get down on one knee if I need to, if that's a game mechanic, or if I need to clear a jam or anything like that. And in the pocket of those will go something small, I think a big shock with a couple of mega darts. There are no special zombies, I'm told, in this game. I don't completely believe it. And that's it. I'll probably have a camelback on, and the straps for that might have 1 or 2 socks attached. In fact, I definitely will be having a camelback on because I need to drink water. I went out for a run this morning. I was out for about 40 minutes with some of my gear on just to see how it worked, and I went through about a litre of water. So I'm a pretty sweaty guy. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. I've got the camelback here. It's reasonably lightweight. It just takes the bladder, and there's a couple of pockets. I think it's for running. I bought it from a mountain bike shop a long time ago. I can probably Velcro some socks to one of the straps. A much more famous YouTuber than me told me to Velcro some socks up here or along my arm for that sort of, oh God, instinctive throw. I'll probably have them on this side because that's my offhand, and carry one as I hold my primary. Now, again, if I'm going out as a scout, I'll be ditching the primary, ditching the mags, taking the 2 hammer prime blasters in holsters, and I'll probably have socks on a bandolier or in a dump pouch. So what I'm going to run on my belt as well as that is dump pouch full of darts, holster for one of the hammer prime blasters, and then a little admin pouch around the back. I'm probably going to put in a screwdriver, some patches, some other bits and bobs that I might need. It's somewhere to store mission MacGuffins and all the rest of it. And I'm going to run relatively light apart from the water and see how I get on. I hope that's explained how these 2 hammer prime blasters fit into my loadout. I will let you know how I get on. If I get tagged immediately and don't get to use this, maybe I won't. See how the OZ is and how sneaky they are. As usual, all the socials are in the usual place. If you want to find out what happened at this event, subscribe, hit the notification icon. There is some question, because these are 3D printed, as to whether they will snap, smash, break, or do something terrible. You'll find out by clicking that little bell. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.